Welcome back to the Sol Show. Took a day off because I wanted to step back and assess. It has been some crazy price action. And before I say anything, I want to make sure that I've properly assessed it and I'm giving you the right information. And I'm not speaking out of any kind of emotion that I'm bringing to this. It's a scary market out there. It's a confusing market out there. And sometimes, if I'm not 100% sure, I'm just going to take a little more time. I'm going to think it through. And that's what we all have to do. There has been so many fake outs in this market. It has been death by fake outs. So if anything, take this as an opportunity to, if you've been beat up by this market, take this as an opportunity to grow. Take this as an opportunity to learn, to observe yourself, and to get better. And if you've been winning in this market, cool. Perfect. It's been a mixed bag for me. Matter of fact, I had an excellent trade that entered last night. Entered a Solana long trade at 139 and exited at 150 today. It was killer. So, a fantastic trade. Thanks to the indicators, thanks to just a combination of things that I use. But one thing that will help all of us, when in doubt, zoom out. And one thing I need to mention, Solana, Ethereum, any altcoin for that matter, does not exist in a vacuum. Bitcoin drives all of this. And a larger macro environment is driving Bitcoin too, because it's still considered a risk asset. Even though Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, I don't know. Not everybody's quite got the memo on that yet. They're going to come around in time. The good news, big banks are stacking. So big banks that have been against this for years have come around and said, yeah, we like Bitcoin now. So it's the oddest thing. But we knew it was going to. We knew that was going to happen. So typically, this is a show about Solana. But I got Bitcoin pulled up right now because, yes, am I a Bitcoin investor? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I trade Bitcoin? No. I trade Solana, but I invest in both Solana and Bitcoin. And do I trade a bunch of different altcoins? No, I don't. I focus Bitcoin and Solana for the most part. That's what I focus on. So what I have done the last few days and what really helped my trade today was taking a step back, slowing down, looking at the more macro environment, looking at Bitcoin. So here we go. We got the daily chart of Bitcoin. It's been in a rough spot, folks. I don't have to tell you that. Yeah, ever since March, Bitcoin and Solana and all the alts I'm having a very rough time. Crypto's on life support, man. It's been tough. And part of the reason I had to take a day off because I don't want to say anything negative. I want to bring positivity and to give hope. Not fake hope, not hopium, but real hope that you can really take to the bank. This is not financial advice, by the way. But okay. So what we've seen here, the Bitcoin went on this incredible run. It's been going wave, just going down like this. So on the daily, it was on mid-April that it crossed underneath the 50-day exponential moving average. And it's popped up a little bit. And it's just been riding the bottom of that exponential moving average. So one thing to take note of, if you do have a long preference, which I do, I want to see this thing pop. I want to see this thing go to the moon. But we have to take a step back. We have to be realistic. We are still in a downtrend. We could be on the verge of a trend reversal, though. That's the great news, because I'm not typically into bottoming patterns necessarily, patterns in general. But two patterns that I do like, that I've seen that actually do work, the head and shoulders top and the inverse head and shoulders bottom. These patterns work for a reason. I have seen these come through over and over. That's what I'm seeing here. Look at this: shoulder, head, shoulder. I'm seeing possibly an inverse head and shoulders bottom. And look at this on the oscillator as well: shoulder, head, shoulder. So that's great news. So we could be seeing a trend reversal. Things started lighting up today. Things started going a little bit green, but still, we got to be cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic. And the reason I got out of this trade today, this is the visible range volume profile right here. So look at this. This has been described as a ball on a hill. You see this red line right here. See this? If you're not familiar with what I'm looking at here, this is the visible range volume profile. This is where all the trades have been placed. This red line, this is where the majority of trades happen, and it gets magnetized to this level. So when it gets here, it's going to go one way or the other. It's either going to go down or it's going to go up. Let's hope it goes up. But we don't rely on hope here. We rely on data. So let's get into Solana. Let's see how this relates. So we're seeing something similar. Solana moves a lot like Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, let me overlay it real quick. Let me show you real quick. Yeah, Solana moves covariant to Bitcoin, except with more wild oscillations. Bitcoin's smoother. So you look at this, that Solana has fallen further. It's got much wilder oscillations, but they're both showing some signs of recovery. They're starting to come together, folks. This is a great thing. So if this pulls through, then we could be in for a recovery. And I've been saying it, it's a takeoff, but it's a choppy takeoff. But folks, we're running low on runway. So we better get this done soon. So I am seeing a lot of hope here. This is the daily chart. By the way, we finished the week. Let me show you that. When in doubt, zoom out. So we finished the week green. This is great news. I was thinking that we would. So look at that lone green candle after 4 big old red candles with these big old wicks to the downside. We finally got a green candle. It's not fully decided. Look at this. It's got a bigger wick to the top, which, yeah, that means that the bulls could not get control. Well, let me turn off the Heikkens real quick. So we'll see exactly what this is. Okay, better. Okay, these are the regular candles. I typically use the Heikkens because they show patterns better. They show the trend. But actually, when we look at the regular candles, this is very hopeful. The end of April, we got this long old green hammer looking thing here. It's got a pretty big body, tiny wick at the top. Yeah, last week, I don't know about that. Yeah. So it averaged those two together. That's what we got. This candle, too early to even know. It's got 5 days left on it out of 7. So yeah. But yeah, last week's candle, it's red, and yeah, it has a big wick to the top, which that's not bullish. Sorry to say. But it's a new week. So things are turning around, and I got a feeling this week's candle is going to close green. And if it does, then we're now on a new uptrend. So this is good news, especially that we're at the beginning of a new trend. Very exciting stuff, because this is not a trend that's tired and worn out. This is a trend that has been resting for weeks and is ready to run a marathon. I don't know if there's any athletes in the audience, but you got to rest up. If you want to run a marathon, you don't do that when you're exhausted. You rest up for it. You get ready. And that's what it's been doing. So there's good news here. So it's been faking us out left and right. But we're seeing some good signs. Let's look at the oscillators here. On the Rex here, it's coming around underneath on the daily. Rising VWAP just about to cross to the upside. Money flow is so thin, I couldn't tell you either way which way it's going. We got a thin little green, we got a thin little red, kind of undecided. So that is yet to flesh itself out. So we'll see. But I'm being very careful with trades right now because we still have resistance up here. And that's why I got out of the trade today. It's still yet to be seen if we're going to break through this resistance. When we do, my plan is that I'm going to increase my long. If it breaks out of the resistance, goes up, then boom, comes down to retest. Right about there. It's going to pop up. It's going to retest. That's when it takes off. That's what I see happening with that. Let's dig a little deeper in here. Am I seeing any trades right now? Possibly. Possibly. Because, dude, right now what I'm seeing, larger time frames look good. As far as entering a trade, we may not be at a perfect spot to enter a trade, but oh my goodness, the larger time frames have to be in agreement if you want to win at a trade. And you know what? You're in luck. So 12-hour, the daily, those are the kind of time frames that will take you to the moon. When you got the big time frames on your side, the small time frames may not agree with you. Currently, what I'm seeing right now of why I would not enter a trade at this moment, the mid-range time frames are not quite in agreement. They still got to bring the car around. And we're not quite ready to go and take off yet. Look at this. We got this falling VWAP on the 8-hour. Is starting to come up here. That's awesome, but we're underneath this resistance. Look at this. We haven't done the golden cross yet. On the 8-hour, see, we had this death cross that was on April 28th, according to the Heikens, which, dude, I go by the Heikens. So we're still underneath it. One more pump, boom. We're going to get that golden cross. Let's keep on going down the time frames. The smaller time frames have been good. Like I say, I got a good trade last night and today. Dude, it was a killer day. Today was one of the most hopeful days we've seen in a while. But you look over here, still red. It's because of the mid-range time frames here. The 8-hour, the 4-hour, the 6-hour, these kind of time frames. That's what's holding us down right now because they're not ready. So you see, because they're still stuck under this resistance. But all this, it's getting ready. It's getting ready, but the VWAP's going to be falling. So if you're trying to enter a trade right now, then you're going to need to wait. It's not there yet. But it's coming around. It is coming around. And when it's time, don't let it take off without you. So, okay, let's go down to the 3-hour. Let's see at what point these time frames start getting better. Here's a little retest. See, it popped, dropped. Now we're retesting on the 50-day. Let's make sure that everybody can see this. Kind of zoom in on it a little bit. If you're watching on a smaller screen. There we go. There we go. So you see, came up. It was, look at this, underneath the 50-day moving average. See, first, it come up here, failed retest. Boom. And the 50 and the 200 had come together. And we got that fail retest, but it bounced. It hit the 200. Boom. Got knocked down hard again. Actually, this was the opportunity for entering last night. This was where I entered that trade. I saw this thing just falling like a rock. And yeah, Solana has 2 modes. Falling like a rock, taking off like a rocket. So I saw this last night and said, oh my goodness. So yeah, 139 and 144 were a couple of significant levels. And matter of fact, someone asked me, said, do you think it's going as low as 129? I said, it could. I said, that's still a possibility. I think that still is. If this doesn't maintain, yeah, I got to shoot you straight here. But look at this. Good news. It has retested on the 50. Look at this. Formerly resistance. Broke through that resistance. Couldn't hold support on the 200, but boom. It's holding support on the 50 on 3-hour at this time. Let's hope it keeps on doing that. We'll keep a close eye on it. Look at that. Look at that wick. And you know what it means when it wicks down like that. That means that whoever's side that the wick is on, like it's on the Bears side here. The Bears can't keep control of it. If the wick is up, the Bulls can't keep control. If the wick is down, the Bears can't keep control. So look at this, and this is the 200 on the 2 hour. So these smaller time frames, it starts getting better. But still, look at that falling VWAP though. No, this is not an entry. Look at that. Look at that red dot right at the top. That wave coming over the top. This Cypher B. Oh man. And this is where I got out of the trade. As a matter of fact, right here, we saw this. I got out basically at the top. It was a fantastic trade. So I see things like this. We got this falling VWAP. We've got, oh, and also look at this. As the price action is rising, the oscillator is falling. Nope. The VWAP falling. Nope. And it was right about here. I said nope, because first of all it pumped. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And it's like, is it going to keep doing it? It's like, and then it's like, and it gives you one more chance. I see this all the time. It does this pump, and then it falls back. It does a retest, and then it's like, oh, are we going to pump now? We've retested. Cool. We're going to break out. We're going to pump, and nope. Just couldn't go any further. And at that point, let's look at the lower time frames to see exactly what it did when it rolled over like that. So you see, look at that. So it starts rolling over. The Heikens are fantastic for this. These are so good to use to see this kind of action. Look at this, kind of a little deceiving. It looks like it's going to dump. There's a whoop, one more. And then finally, then it dumps. Little bounce. So it's kind of riding along it. But at that point, it's like, not yet. So currently, where I'm at, I'm just doing the wait and see. See how it's just rolling. But hey, here's what's good. 15 minute. Look at that. It unfortunately has failed the retest on the 50. So we're down at 146. We spent a lot of the day sitting strong, 147, and we were up above 150 today. It was fantastic. With the fact that it went down to 139 last night, that was a epic bounce. That was a trade right there. But in a choppy market like this, it's not one of those things where you can just set a long swing trade and just let it run, which that's what I prefer to do. That's the kind of trader that I am. I prefer to get into a long swing trade and just monitor it closely, but just let it go. I used to be a scalper, but that was when I didn't know what I was doing. And I just had to get what I could really quickly because it was going to turn the other way very quickly. But with this, if you can pick your entries better, you can swing trade and really get what I call the rainmaker. What a rainmaker is, that's that epic trade where you enter it perfectly and it just, you enter it down here or down here. Yeah. This would be like a rainmaker type trade. So you get in right down here, the boom, you ride that rocket ship and you just are making it rain. Money raining from the sky. That's a freaking rainmaker trade right there. That's gorgeous. So that's what I try to do. When I started out, I was just scalping for just $1 here, $1 there, just to see if I could. If you don't know what you're doing, paper trade with pennies. If you want to use actual money and you don't know what you're doing, trade with pennies until you can learn to trade with dollars. Because if you can make $1, you can make $100. If you can make $100, you can make 1,000. Make 1,000, you can make 10,000. So it all goes from there, and the rest is history. So you can do this. It just takes a lot of learning, and a lot of wherewithal. This is not an easy game, folks. And hopefully it's coming around. We're going to monitor it very closely. But yeah, keep your trades tight. Keep a close eye on it. But soon, very soon we're going to know if this recovery is for real. To be continued on the next Saul Hodelman Show.